Hello everyone, it's Leo, and it's Christmas time in the Precure universe. It's time to talk about episode 44 from TWINKLE PRECURE, the Christmas episode. But just before I start talking about the episode, I just want to share this moment of happiness because Kylie Minogue is coming to Brazil. And you guys, some of you guys know that I'm pretty keen on pop divas, and Kylie Minogue is probably one of the biggest pop divas, and I'm so excited to see her live for the first time. I've been following her for such a long time. I've been following her career for such a long time, and I'm such a big fan of Kylie Minogue. I'm excited. Do you guys like her too? Do you guys at least know who she is? Are there any old gays like me here sharing this excitement? Anyways, let's talk about episode 44, which was a strange episode. I think that this episode set up some things for the ending of the Star Twinkle season. I think that it's setting up the tones and the things to happen at the end part. And honestly, I liked the things they set up. I think that it's building up to be a very interesting setting to the ending, but the episode itself was strange. I think that the biggest problem I had with this episode was that it was slow. And I'm not talking about the Kylie Minogue slow song. I'm talking about the episode was slow. The pace was very strange. And first thing, Christmas. It's a early Christmas episode. I think that it was the only date they could fill in a Christmas episode because next time it's Hikaru's Twinkle Imagination and so many things are going to start happening. So it was more of a laid back episode in which the girls had a little time to themselves. But what I want to say is that the first thing I want to say is the Christmas idea. We have two aliens in the group, so every time we have a special date, the Star Twinkle series always addresses that Miyuki, Lala, and Uni, they don't know about that specific date, and so they have to study. Lala likes to read. Uni is very curious and she learns things by paying attention to her surroundings. And I felt very interesting the way Hikaru described Christmas, which was a date for you to get presents and eat cake. That's a great explanation of what Christmas is. I know Christmas for a lot of people, Christmas is a very important religious date, but it feels like, at least here in the West, we all celebrate Christmas. Even though, I'm not religious, but I do celebrate Christmas still, and I'm not a Christian. I celebrate Christmas with my family. We have, we trade presents and such. So, I don't know, and I've heard that in Japan, the Christmas is a big date concerning romantic feelings and also a commercial date, like it is in the West. You can't hide the fact Christmas is a big commercial date. So, the episode, one thing that was very nice was when Elena appeared with a cake, Hikaru told her, "I'm happy that you're feeling better now." And so, they did not forget about last episode. I love when they do those little scenes, calling back to something that happened before. I loved it. And so, Earth had a visitor, which was Santa Claus, basically. But one thing that I liked about this episode was that Santa Claus, Santa-Jin, I'm not sure about the name of the race of those specific aliens. I love the design. The character felt very disco, and it's a very different design than the usual Santa Claus. That's something I found very interesting about the design of the character. But Star Twinkle made it clear that in that world, Santa Claus does not exist, and the Santa Claus that we think exists is that specific alien. And so, Earthlings believe that alien is Santa Claus. So that's a fine idea, that's an okay idea, but then they had a problem with the the spaceship and the robot that helps delivering presents. And so the girls went on to deliver the present. And like this is the biggest problem I have, I think, because I don't know, I felt like that scene dragged a little bit. Like it was slow. The pacing of the scene was slow and it was kind of boring. You know, it's emotional seeing like the girls delivering presents and everything, but it could have been faster. It could have been more dynamic. I didn't think it was as it could have been. And so after that, like Fua used a lot of her powers, which was very nice. I think that now we're starting to see more of Fua. Fua was hidden basically the whole season, even though we had some episodes here and there about her. Fua was hidden for the most part, and now she's going to be important at the end. And so like we need to see more of her powers to believe more in her. So I was okay with that. I was okay with her using her powers in a way of like introducing us more to how Fua's amazingness, you know. And so after that, the girls started having like a heartfelt talk with each other about the future, because they said like we can do this every year, we can deliver presents every year. And so this builds on the idea that the girls are going to be together. And so Elena was the first one that said, hold on, I have something to share with you. And that was very nice, because now Elena is decided on studying abroad to be an interpreter, which I really believe that is going to be the case for her, but I really think that she's going to travel the universe, not only Earth. And so she's not going to be with the girls next year. The same thing kind of happened with Uni, because Uni wants to restore Planet Rainbow and she wants to live there. And so she is probably not going to be here when everything's over. The same thing might happen to Madoka, even though she hasn't decided if she wants to study abroad or not. Ultimately, my opinion here, I don't think she will study abroad. I think she will choose something different for herself. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think that she's going to choose something different for her. And then we have Lala. Lala was paying attention. She was not part of the conversation like directly, but she was paying attention to what was going on, and she noticed something that I feel like everybody that was watching noticed. The drama of Hikaru. Hikaru is not like, she hasn't fully comprehended the whole picture, but she's going to be by herself. At the end of the day, she's going to be by herself. And Lala was behind her, looking at her and paying attention to the conversation, because I feel that Lala will not leave Hikaru. I think that the ending of Star Twinkle is going to be both of them getting together and hugging each other. I don't know, like they're going to spend a time away from each other, and then Lala's going to come back and they're going to reunite. I think that's going to be the ending of Star Twinkle, but maybe I'm reading too much into that scene. But this is going to be one of the themes of this season up until the end. Hikaru's loneliness. Hikaru's loneliness is something that's been touched upon sometimes in the season, and it's going to be touched upon next episode, but I feel like it's also going to be one of the main motives of the ending of the season. Because what happened after that was that Darknest attacked. And Darknest is a very strange villain. It's the big boss of Star Twinkle, and we don't understand Darknest yet. And I've seen some people saying that it's too late for us to be introduced to it, but honestly, I believe that we've had so much lore in Star Twinkle and so many things happening that I don't feel like there was a space in the season for them to fit Darknest's story. And so Darkness fought against the girls, and it was interesting seeing how gravity was used against them. Like, they couldn't fight properly against Darkness in space. They weren't in space, they were in the Earth atmosphere. If it were in space, I think they could have fought in a different way, because they fought in space already. And so, like, they needed to have Prudence helping them, and it was interesting. Like, Darkness is very strong, but what Darkness ultimately wants is Fua. We don't know why. And then, after Darkness was able to kind of beat the girls, Cure was the only one that was still hugging Fua and protecting her. And that scene with Cure disappearing, not disappearing, but, running away from Darkness, using her star platforms, cool. Like, I really like the way she uses it, and I feel like it's a very interesting way of fighting. I really liked it. I really liked that. It was very interesting. And so the AI also coming to help, come on, that was very nice. Like, the battle wasn't the best, but it was interesting to see and it was interesting to watch. I liked it. And overall, the girls were able to defeat Darkness, but it was just a not today, hidden as Darkness. And honestly, I don't think Darkness exists. I think the concept of Darkness exists, but I don't think there is someone who is Darkness. They need Fua for Darkness to actually come to life. And like that whole mechanical slow thing that does not express itself very well is very strange to me. So that's why I don't believe Darkness exists. So I'm very curious to see Darkness' background story, what it is, because we know nothing about it. And I believe that Darkness is somehow tied to the princesses in a way. It's tied to it has to be tied to the princesses in some way. So I think that this is going to be an interesting thing in the future of Star Twinkle. But I think the most interesting thing is Hikaru. I think Hikaru is going to be like the key point of this ending because of her loneliness, and I feel that. You know, she's so happy with the girls. She's so happy with them. She's so fulfilled having them by her side, even especially her like having like a whole childhood by herself because no one really understood her, and now she has people that actually understand her and they don't really downplay her because of her hyperness, and she can just be who she is. I love that about her, and I love that about the Star Twinkle team. One last thing though. Every time in the fight, Hikaru was holding on to Fua, and Fua said more than once, I'm going to be with Hikaru forever. I'm going to stay with Hikaru forever. This is a very bad foreshadowing. I don't know. Like, I think this is going to be a gruesome ending to both of them, which is going to turn into something nice, obviously, but we're gonna suffer with their goodbye. I don't know why, but we're gonna suffer. And I honestly think that Fua could stay on Earth. Like, Fua is an entity, and she doesn't have a place to be, like, let's say, Uni. I don't know. But I feel like she doesn't have a role to fulfill in the universe. Like, she needs to keep the balance of the universe, but yeah. I don't know, I'm theorizing too much here. But yeah, I think that, like, there are so many things for us to talk about the Star Twinkle ending. I could do a live stream for us to share our views on Fua, on Darkness. I think this is so interesting. Like, this episode really opened up a lot of possibilities. I think I'm gonna think about that. Anyways, guys, that was my view on episode 44. Please leave a comment with your opinions. I'm not gonna say Merry Christmas now because there are still going to be more videos. There are more videos to come before Christmas. So we can talk about Christmas later on. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye-bye.